My next project is getting Breaking Free out February 2012. Oh, it's like birthing a baby. I have 3 books to this series, and it's 3 cousins, XJ, Amber, and Whitney. And these 3 cousins are revolutionaries, and they're trying to save XJ's mom from this mind swipe procedure. So the story is basically me just finishing the series.
My next project for me personally as a writer is to finish the 3rd book in my Sybil Lewis series. It's in chunks on my desk in various stages of rewrite. As a publisher, I have 3 upcoming urban science fiction stories, or black science fiction stories. One is a steampunk, actually. It's a Miss Valjean's story. So, yeah. So my next project as a publisher, I have 3, maybe 4, depending on where the other one is in edit, to get out. And then for me as a writer, to finish this series.
Well, as most people know me, know that I'm ADD, so I'm usually got 3 or 4, 5 projects going on at the same time. But to focus on particular ones, Griots we just released, so I'm really working on marketing and selling that right now. In October, we will be starting a sequel to Griot, which is with Griots 2, Sisters of the Spear, and it will be an anthology that concentrates on female warrior, women warriors, and we're starting to put together the submissions for that right now. One of the long-term projects that we hope to be able to accomplish or start to initiate is we're working on trying to do an animated series based on Meiji. We're trying to lay the groundwork and get maybe a test trailer, and then maybe eventually build that up to some point. We also are looking at, from a publishing standpoint, next year will probably be the first year that I'll publish writers other than myself. I got a couple of people in mind. One of them sitting to my left, as we published Griots, we discovered there were a number of the writers that contributed to the book had novels in process, and they're very good writers, and novel ideas that they've presented us have been very good. So we're looking at to be able eventually to publish some of these guys as well. So, I need to bring one more. I'm actually working on a young adult novel called Amber. I hope to have it finished next year. It's about a young African American girl who discovers that she is the only person that can pick the next ruler of a mythical African kingdom. And the story is about her adventure trying to return from come from Atlanta to this kingdom and select this king, while other people are trying to stop her from coming to select that king. So it's going to be kind of a young adult action adventure story.
Oh, great. Hey. So also, Nicole, one of the books is mine too. So hey, y'all be hearing from me one of these days. All right, great. Let's give our panelists a hand. They did a great job. And we're going to take some questions from the audience. And we have 2 rules. 1, please stand up, state your name and where you're from. And 2, no filibusters, no dissertations, nothing like that. Please make it a question. Because I know sometimes when we ask a question, it becomes actually a lecture or a sermon. So please make it a question. So if you have questions, please stand up, state your name, where you're from, and ask your question. Anyone?
I'm Big Sam, Bill's wife. And I'd just like to know if you thought about taking one of your main characters, maybe a young adult character, and putting it in a children's book. So for elementary age children. And then they grow up reading that book and then are looking for the characters as they get older.
So the question was, have any of the authors taken their characters and putting it in a children's book, or have they considered that?
I definitely have considered that, because I now work in an elementary school, and I find that there just are not any speculative fiction, science fiction, or anything for African American children. And I found that our children love to read the characters growing up, like Harry Potter. They want to start with the 10-year-old, and they want to grow all the way up with them until he's 16 or 17 years old. So yes, I have considered that.
I have a young children's book. It's called Glorious. It's just developing. It's changing, and it hasn't settled yet. But right now, what I'm writing about is she's hungry, and it's you know, her parents are calling her or something. I don't know. But I think it's getting ready to change. I don't really know where it's going, so I haven't been able to finish it or even get the visual together because she's changing so much. And when I get clear on where she's going, then it'll be done.
In addition to Amber, I do have a story that I've been developing called A Minimal Guy, which is actually a story that's focused on young black men. It's about a young boy who he comes from a village that has a relationship with a warrior village. And whenever their village is in trouble, these warriors always come to save them. So trouble is brewing, but the warriors haven't shown up. So Mogai, the boy, Kibwe has been chosen to go find the warriors and bring them back to the village so they can protect the village. And it's kind of it's an adventure, but it's also kind of a coming of age, and it's kind of a story that's going to hopefully will teach young men or examples of the type of lessons they have to learn. Because in each point, Kaboye goes through some kind of trial that he should leave with some type of quality or trait that leads him to become a man. And I think tell you guys a little bit in the climactic scene when he finally does find these people, and he asks them, well, where's your leader? And they basically tell him that you are, because you have, your trials, your journey has made you the man to lead us to save your people. And I think that we need more books like that. I've looked at probably making Meji into more of a children's thing, because I can work with it in a way where it could appeal to young children at their level, and then maybe later on they can read the book and see it as an adult.
Excellent. Any other questions? Yes.
Hello, my name is Jonathan from Atlanta. My question is there a reason many of you have chosen to write series books?
So the question is there a reason why you all chose to write your books as series?
I chose to write Sybil as a series because at the end of Silence, she was unfinished. I think that she, as a protagonist, has a lot to grow, both personally and professionally, in her role as a detective. So she has a lot to do. So her polishing is unfinished, and I think it's going to take a lot of other adventures and hardships and setbacks and tribulations and things to help her come full circle, to make her the protagonist I want her to be at the end. And life is that way. We all go through a series of trials and tribulations. We are constantly revising who we are and working on ourselves. So that's why she's a series.
I actually write series because that's what I love to read. And I'm one of those writers. For some reason, I have either my husband, you have a big mouth. So I have a lot to say, and so I just cannot say it in the minimum of one book. Usually when I see things, it's 3, 4, and sometimes 5 books along. So I kind of know I have a bigger than life story arc, I guess.
The first book is it's a setting. It sets the premise. He's getting prepared. He gets his friends, and they basically something happens at the end that it sets up the scene for the next part, and it came like that. And yeah, and basically it propels. It keeps going, and when you get to the end, you know it's not the end. So it told me it was going to be serious.
when I sit down to write a story, I don't really know what it's going to end up to be. I write as many books as it takes to tell the story. Meji was actually one book. It got split into two because of publishing reasons. It wasn't really because of I wanted it to be two books. The Changa series is going to be 4 books because that's how many books it's going to take to tell the story. Amber is going to be 1 book. To me, it just depends on what it takes to tell the complete story. I've had people ask me, well, what's going to be the next book after Meji? And I'm like, there is no next book. You know, the story's been told. I mean, I could sit there and write one, but if I did, I wouldn't have a passion for it because I would be basically trying to make a story, create a story that's not there. And so once the energy, the passion is gone, and the story is done, and there's really nothing else to say. So it kind of depends. With me, it depends on the story concept, whether it's going to be a series or whether it's going to be one novel or something like that.
From an economic standpoint too, of all marketing, your tribe, fan base follows you to the next book. So
exactly.
Not only do you get new readers, but then you got that built-in fan base.
I think with me though, see, I'm not a big series fan. I have never read any series all the way through because at some point it seems like to me that the writer's actually being forced to write the books. Like the Dune series, I read the first 3 books and after that I could care less because it just kind of just died and I can't, you know, I don't like investing myself into something like that. So that's why I don't write like that because I don't want to bore anybody. Yeah, you know, I don't want to. That's why I hated Lost. You know, I don't want something that doesn't seem like it's ever going to end. You know, it's got to be an end somewhere. You know, but that, to me, it's whatever it takes. As long as the passion is there, I can continue to read it or continue to write it. But if the passion's not there, then I'm going to write 1 or 2 books and it's gone.
Alicia and I were just talking about the Laurel K. Hamilton Anita Blake series. The first, she's at book, 16? Like the first 10 books were amazing. They were fresh, they were invigorating, they were inventive, they were groundbreaking in what they were doing for the time, for the genre. But the last 5 books have just been, you know, it's like, and I've had that publisher that said, okay, I need a story about a construction worker and a teacher. Get on that. Write that. I've had that. I write erotic romance under a different pen name. And I've had a publisher tell me, this is what I want, go write that. And I'm like, seriously, I'm not feeling that. So that book, I wrote it, but it was not a very good book, and I knew that, and I told her. But she didn't care. She wanted what she wanted, and I was under contract, and I wrote it. And that's what Stephen King does. Right.
He started out with a lot of passion, and that's why we can say his name and everyone knows who he is. You know, right, and because I think it happened with Octavia Butler. She started altering. Right, even though the meat was there, the heat was there, and the passion, but